Hey. Hey. Making plenty fucking sense to me. Hey, let that shorty breathe. Shake that ass, bitch. Hands on your knees. Hands on your knees. Hands on your knees. Shake that ass for drink. Now shake that ass for free. Yeah, yeah. We're not that kind of free. I'm talking about my nigga. Good morning. He always said I overlooked him. I was staring straight. These bars go over Kenny head no matter what I say. I know you like to keep it short, so let me paraphrase. Knew it was smoke when Abel hit us with a serenade. Niggas said, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Reaching for my waist. Drop a 50 bag for the mob in a spot. Hey! 50 bag, 29 for the thought. I was really trying to keep it. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Yeah. Stop playing around. Take shit serious. You know what we're here to do. Niggas is a joke, I take it serious though. Ray! Yeah. Look, if Drake shooters doing TikToks, nigga really shooting in your game. That's peace, brother. Y'all ain't getting shit shot, nigga. Can't listen to the stick talking falsetto, saving for a hip hop, nigga. You don't need to be at home, dog. Hey. You a souvenir out of gift shop, nigga. Still mad about that run hoe. We ain't even fuck, I just lip lock with it. I get active when it's sport time. I ain't even really let my dick drop, nigga. What the fuck, I heard rip drop, nigga. Oh my God. About a nose job, nigga. Ozempic got a side effect of jealousy. Ozempic has a side effect of jealousy. Nigga rock kinda like your old job, nigga. House sitting on some land, but it's how we know and even really know y'all niggas. Bitches gotta drive 2 hours for you pay them. All right, let's get this show started, ladies and gentlemen. You know exactly what we are here to do. All right, let's get this show started, ladies and gentlemen. You know exactly why we are here. We're gonna try to cruise through today's topics because obviously I got some work to do. All right, you know exactly what it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show started. All right, save the drama, all right? No crying in here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this show started. I'm like the Terminator scream. I'll be back. It's deja vu when I'm out here flying first class. It's like every week I'm trying to take out the trash. I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class. You can tell that I made it, look at my grass. Cars in the garage with tanks full of gas. I play the game so raw, I won't finish last. Sitting in my living room screaming how we made it. This is how it's supposed to happen when you're rich and famous. The algorithm turned me to a maniac. I guess we going viral cause my zodiac. I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet. Hey, and if they is my ex, that mean they left me. They don't get replies if they text me. I say it with my chest cause I mean it. Got a lot of confidence and I'm conceited. Call me the master with a new whip. I'ma take off this. Here we go.
I'll tell you what, gone into Zeus's last time, I'll get a drug test taken. Yes. It was radical. It was horrible. I'm like, Zeus has gone way off the rails.
It's like deja vu. It's like deja vu. It's like deja vu. It's like deja vu.
All right. Listen, DJ, go ahead and kill the music. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Once again, we are back in the Thunderdome, and I am your host. I am your pilot, and you know exactly why we are here to do. Now, listen, we're going to have to get through these topics as quick as possible. Today is going to be a pretty busy day. You know, Zeus has other affairs to tend to in the kingdom, so I'll try to be as succinct as possible. All right, so let's get some of the housekeeping items out of the way. For those of you who do not know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, or some like to say Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H? Well, it's quite simple. The first H is because I'm honest. I'm the most honest person on social media. You might as well imagine that I got my hand sitting on a stack of Bibles right now. That's how honest I am, all right? The second H, ladies and gentlemen, is because I'm humble. There's nobody more humble than me. If I get it wrong, I will be the first to apologize. It just turns out I haven't been wrong lately, all right? But if I were, I would be first to apologize, all right? And then the last and the final H, ladies and gentlemen, is because I am and will always remain, you guessed it, the most handsome. Now, many of you are familiar with what we do over here on this side of town, on this side of TikTok. What we do is very, very special. We hold our friends on the right, especially their cult leader, Donald J. Trump, accountable for their dirty, disgusting, filthy deeds, as well as, their crimes. And believe you me, when it comes to dirty, disgusting deeds and crimes, we know our friends on the right, they have a monopoly on that, all right? And so listen up. If you're a Trump supporter and you are, as my good friend Brother Swervin says, factose intolerant, that means you're allergic to the facts, right? That means when facts and truth start circulating around you, you all of a sudden get uncomfortable. You find that you're a little triggered. You might want to leave this live. No, Scott Myers. Scott, you started this show off already in a bad mood. Scott, this one's for you. You might want to leave this live. And no, factose intolerant. You might want to leave this live and go on with your miserable morning, Scott, and go hang out with those fake TikTok hosts, those fake content creators that are going to continue to lie to you and make you believe there's hope for Donald Trump, right? They'll take your coins on TikTok. They'll ask you to donate and they'll ask you to go watch their videos because their videos get terrible engagement, by the way. You should see some of these content creators. Zeus, watch my video. I look at the video. There's only 10 views and all 10 of them are from the host. Those are people you should go hang out with, Scott, because over here, we don't play that. All right. We keep it exciting, engaging, and entertaining. So listen up, Scott. Go on and hang out with Snuggles, who we all know got his degree from Trump University. All right. You'll be the newest fool on TikTok, Scott. All right. So with that being said, I know Scott doesn't believe me. All right, Scott, but maybe you listen to your leader. You don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, Swervin. If you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get this show started. All right, let me get my hammer and bring it down. All right, this one's for you, Scott. This one's for you. All right. And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you know what we do on this show? Get those booze together, get those tomatoes, those cans together, because we're going to have to get ready to give MAGA a bunch of booze and shame. All right. But let me get this show started based on the mood that I'm in this morning. Good morning, Maisha. Many of you know that I'm serious. I'm very serious about this demand. Good morning, Miss Boss Diva. I'm very, very serious. Good morning, Miss Morningstar. If you have any dirt on President Joe Biden, I want it front and center. I've been talking to a lot of Trump supporters this year, and every time I ask for it, they get in my box and they hit me with this trustmebro.com, not com.com. I don't trust you. I don't trust a single Trump supporter. I don't care what you do for a living. As far as I'm concerned, you could be the founder of McDonald's. I don't have a problem with McDonald's. You could be the founder of any company. I don't care. That carries zero weight on social media. If you are out here professing that President Biden is a criminal, bring the dirt to all of us, because again, there's a serious election on the line, and I think it's very important we get this issue resolved ASAP. So as we approach this critical juncture, ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to keep in mind that we're 6 months out. We're 6 months away, and our nation's future is hanging in the balance. All right. But what we got going on is we have two candidates. We have Donald J. Trump, and then we have defendant Donald J. Trump, and then we have President Biden. All right. And while some may dismiss this as simply the election 2.0, we must recognize that the stakes remain high. Our democracy and our values and our very way of life are really on the ballot. It is not merely a choice between two individuals. It is a choice between competing visions for our nation. And I'll be honest with you. Good morning, Valerie. President Biden, a seasoned statesman, has championed democratic ideas. He reminds us that our freedom is at stake, that the very essence of our nation rests on our ability to protect and uphold principles that have guided us for centuries. His administration has grappled with, you all have seen it, complex issues, from foreign aid to immigration, to getting us out of the pandemic, to standing up for women and their reproductive their freedom. And the list goes on. Standing against racism, bigotry, and misogyny. This is what the Biden-Harris administration has continued to do. All right? And he has faced criticism from both sides of the aisle. I've never seen anything like this. But he stands firm, urging us to recognize that our collective voice matters and that our vote shapes the course of this country. On the other side, deranged, dangerous Donald Trump, the former president who's also a defendant, remains a formidable force. His supporters continue to rally behind him, invoking nostalgia for an era that they once imagined when he was in office. They yearn for a return to the policies and the rhetoric that defined his presidency. And while many Americans express frustration with the lack of a fresh choice, they also recognize that this election will determine the trajectory of our nation for years to come. But here's the twist, and this is serious. There is no evidence of dirt on President Joe Biden from the MAGA Republicans. Scott, are you listening to me, Scott? No evidence of dirt. Despite all of these fervent claims and heated debates, and many of us, we've gotten into a lot of debates on this app. I've gotten into a lot of debates on TikTok, ladies and gentlemen, and not one of these MAGA demons has ever been able to produce a shred of evidence that shows Joe Biden is a criminal. The proverbial smoking gun remains elusive. Has anyone seen this smoking gun of evidence against President Biden? The political landscape is littered with accusations, but again, where is the concrete proof, MAGA? As we navigate this election season, let us all demand transparency and accountability and a commitment to the truth. Let us all again understand how important it is to put country above party. And again, in these coming months, I want everyone to understand that our attention definitely will have to shift from the mundane things that have been going on in the media to focusing on things like the swing states, right? Michigan, Georgia, and Nevada, because we understand those are going to actually become our battleground states. And so with that being said, I'm once again demanding that anybody out there, and you know exactly who you are, you MAGA demons, if you have any evidence that President Joe Biden is a criminal, please produce it as soon as possible. Because failure to produce that evidence only reveals that you're nothing more than a traitor to the United States of America. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, you know what we must do. Join me in giving Donald Trump and his supporters what they deserve, because all they've been doing is lying on TikTok, saying that Biden is a criminal, but they haven't produced a shred of evidence. Join me in giving them our first honorable rounds of boos and shame.
Silence! You MAGA demon!
All right. So today we are entering day 13 of Donald J. Trump's criminal trial that he is having in New York. And the trial is because, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's election interference. All right. It's election interference, and it's well documented election interference. I've never seen anything like this, right? We had Jeffrey McConey, all right, and Deborah Tarasoff yesterday. These are people who worked in the Trump org. They went in the court yesterday and they testified. They testified about how Donald Trump runs his criminal enterprise. And you know what the smoking gun was when they testified? You know what it is. You seen one of these before? A black Sharpie. What did Donald Trump do with this dangerous Sharpie? We all saw what he did. He told the American people when he was president of the United States, I am going to divest myself from this business. I won't have anything to do with Trump org. This is what he told us. But then his employees Snuggles, come real close, Snuggles. His employees are telling us he didn't really do that. He was in the White House signing these checks and sending them via FedEx to Michael Cohen. A Sharpie just like this is the smoking gun. There's not a jury that's in their right mind on this earth that's going to listen to all of this stuff come out and not conclude Donald Trump isn't guilty. Donald Trump's going to prison. I don't care what you think, you Trump supporters. And this and you know what they said? The Alvin Bragg case, this is the weakest case. Well, if this is the weakest case, MAGA, your goose is cooked. Your goose is cooked. Speaking of gooses being cooked, today's day 13, and guess who's going to? They're saying this woman is going to be approaching the stand today, Stormy Daniels. How many of you know who Stormy Daniels is? Hey, Wayne, keep on crying, Wayne. I don't care if you cry. You know what the rule is in my life, Wayne? I don't allow Trump supporters, traitors, to be victims around me. It just rubs me the wrong way, Wayne. You go over there and be a sheep for Snuggles. You go be a sheep for the Russian bears, Wayne. But when you get into this live, you know what you need to do, Wayne? You need to sit your special behind down and listen to this special broadcast, Wayne. You just might learn something. All right. So what is Stormy Daniels bringing to this case, ladies and gentlemen? Now, I don't know what she's going to say, but I've been following this thing very intimately. All right. I've been looking at what's been going on because, you know, I'm all about that two-tier justice system, right? I do believe Donald Trump should have already been placed in prison for violating the gag order more than 10 times. I think he should have been there. But you know what? Let's go ahead and play it this way. It's kind of entertaining, right? So Miss Stormy Daniels, she brings firsthand accounts. Number one, I got a couple of things that Stormy Daniels is going to do that she's bringing. That's definitely going to be actually, there's already a nail in the coffin. This coffin has been nailed multiple times. Donald Trump is done, all right? So she brings firsthand accounts. Miss Daniels is a central figure in this case. Her firsthand account of the events leading up to the payment provides invaluable insight. She can shed light on the motivation behind the transaction, the timing, and the circumstances surrounding it. You know, I still got Trump supporters saying, well, Zeus, he was just doing this to hide it from Melania. The jury's not going to buy that because he had years and years and years to take care of this business. If he was trying to just hide it from Melania, he had years and years and years to do it. So that little argument, that's going to go right out the window. Like his hope to be acquitted during this trial, right? Next, what she's going to do. Affair allegations. Ooh, this is for the Christians. This is why I love this case, because everything that MAGA claims they represent, this case is going to prove they don't, right? So they like to say they're Christians. Well, we got affair allegations, MAGA. While President Trump has consistently denied any affair with Miss Daniels, her testimony could corroborate or refute these claims. Her credibility as a witness will be closely scrutinized, but her willingness to testify demonstrates her commitment to seeking justice. All right? What else can Stormy Daniels help us with? How about hush money? Isn't it funny, all these conservative men that claim they're wealthy? Isn't it so funny how they always seem to have a special account set aside for hush money? So-called Christians, right? The hush money, the $130,000 payment is at the heart of this trial. Miss Daniels can provide details about how the payments were arranged, who facilitated it, and whether there were any additional agreements or promises made. Her testimony could reveal whether this was a legitimate business transaction or an attempt to silence her. Okay, what else can she talk about? How about the cover-up allegations? Prosecutors are arguing that the falsification of the business records was an attempt to cover up the hush money payments. Well, Miss Daniels' testimony can help establish whether there was a deliberate effort to conceal the transactions and whether President Trump was directly involved. Again, you know what we got, MAGA? We got the black Sharpie. He signs his checks with the black Sharpie. For those of you who aren't following this trial, Donald Trump, anything over $10,000, Donald Trump himself has to sign off on it. All right? All right, and he uses a black Sharpie. So this is why I say it's the smoking gun. They go, you know what they go? Well, Zeus, you don't have any direct evidence linking Donald Trump to all of this. He didn't know what Cohen was doing. Okay, great. Mob bosses didn't actually pull the trigger, right? But you know where they ended up, right? You know where they ended up. Hey, Craig, do you think Donald Trump was just signing these $35,000 checks and he didn't know what the heck they were going for? Craig, do you think Donald Trump was that foolish? And if you think he was that, if you do believe Donald Trump didn't know, then Craig, how could you trust him to be president of the United States of America? You're telling me this guy would sign anything and have no clue what's going on? That's not somebody we want in the White House, Craig. Come on. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, what Stormy Daniels helps the American people come to a conclusion about is character and credibility. While we already know Stormy Daniels, we know her resume, it does speak volumes, though, that she is willing to go under oath, right? Both the defense and prosecution will scrutinize Ms. Daniels' character and credibility. Her background as an adult film star may be used to challenge her reliability as a witness. However, like I said earlier, her willingness to come forward and to face public scrutiny speaks to her determination to seek justice. And so I'll say this. Her testimony is a critical piece of the puzzle. It provides a window into the events that unfolded behind closed doors. All right, those clandestine negotiations, the alleged affair, and then the subsequent payment. All right. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, you know what we must do. Let me ask this question. I got to ask this question before we get to the booze and shame. Is there anyone out there that thinks Stormy Daniels was simply trying to extort Donald Trump? Is there anyone out there that believes that lie? By a show of hands, is there any Trump supporter out there that still believes all this was an extortion attempt? I'm looking for a Trump supporter. You think this was just Stormy Daniels trying to extort Donald Trump? Well, it is election interference. It is election interference, but you know who's the real criminal in this, right? Crystal. Hey, Crystal, you want to come up here and explain to Zeus real quickly, Crystal? Or Crystal, you want to go get your real account and come back in here and explain to Zeus why you believe this is extortion, Crystal, because I would love to hear it. All right, let me ask the other question then, since we don't have too many people willing to come up here and actually back that up. Does anybody think this is election interference, committed by Donald Trump? Put a 1 in the chat if you think this is election interference by Donald Trump, please. I want to see who believes this is election interference by Donald Trump. Can we see? Look at this. Oh, Lisa, you believe it is? Okay. How many people believe? Okay, I see some ones out there. Do the majority of us believe this is election interference by Donald Trump? Put a 1 in the chat if you believe it is. Yeah. Okay, well, we the people, we're the jury. We're the jury out here on social media. Okay, so this is as good as gold. Right, Maisha? Ladies and gentlemen, it's with great honor that I do this. Join me in giving Crystal and all of these other Trump supporters what they deserve. Another round of booze and shame, because they believe that this is really extortion when it's crystal clear it's election interference by Donald Trump. Sorry, Crystal, you're wrong. Sorry, Crystal. Crystal. Crystal, I don't know where you've been at, but you got it. You're completely on the wrong side of this, Crystal. Seriously. Now go get your main account, Crystal, and finish telling us. Come back in here and tell us why you still believe this is somehow extortion. All right, now let's listen up, ladies and gentlemen. Rachel Maddow yesterday is urging people to prepare for, you guessed it, the freak out when Donald Trump inevitably is ordered into prison, right? And now you got to ask yourself, well, what has Rachel talking like this, right? What has Rachel talking about this, all right? Discussing the latest events from Donald Trump's ongoing New York criminal trial, Rachel Maddow used it to look ahead to this year's election, offering viewers some optimism about things, despite warnings that this is no time to check out. Maddow argued that Trump has signaled he is part of the worldwide anti-democracy, pro-authoritarian movement, but that should put some steel in our spine because it's giving people a clear picture of where things are headed in the United States. Maddow also said, based on events in court, that Trump will inevitably end up in jail. Again, he will end up in jail, and that we need to be prepared for the freak out when that happens. Now, what prompted this line of questioning is that on Monday, Judge Juan Merchan once again held Trump in contempt of court, this time for defaming jurors in an April 25th interview on the right-wing cable channel Real American Voices, explaining that Trump's actions are a direct attack on the rule of law. And we all heard what Donald Trump said yesterday after he got out of the court. All right. He's pretty much willing to sacrifice himself as a martyr to go to prison. Listen to what he said.
The government just said that they want 2 to 3 more weeks. That means they want to keep me off the trail for 2 to 3 more weeks. Now, anybody in there would realize there's no case. They don't have a case. Every legal scholar says they don't have a case. This is just a political witch hunt. It's election interference. And this is really, truly election interference, and it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. And in every poll, I'm leading by a lot. And they figure maybe they can do something here. Maybe they can do. This case should be over. This case should have never been brought. By the way, Alvin Bragg didn't want to bring the case. Your previous DA didn't bring the case. The FEC said they threw it away. They said, you got to be kidding. Southern District didn't bring the case. Nobody brought the case. And then Alvin Bragg brought the case as soon as, when I'm running and leading, that's when they decided, let's go bring a case. So it's a disgrace. But we just heard 2 to 3 more weeks. I thought they were finished today. And they are finished today if you look at what's happening. I thought they were going to be finished today, and they want 2 to 3 more weeks. The judge asked them, and playing right into the judge's hands. The judge is so happy about 2 to 3 more weeks. Because they all want to keep me off the campaign trail. That's all this is about. This is about election interference. How do we stop it? And it's a disgrace. And then you have the other thing that maybe is even more disgraceful is the gag order. Where I can't basically, I have to watch every word I tell you people. You ask me a question, a simple question, I'd like to give it, but I can't talk about it. Because this judge has given me a gag order and said you'll go to jail if you violate it. And frankly, you know what? Our Constitution is much more important than jail. It's not even close.
Our Constitution is much more important than jail. So Donald Trump is signaling to his supporters that he's willing to go to jail. He doesn't care how the courts are supposed to run. He's more important than the courts. You're right, Rachel. We do need to prepare for Donald Trump to go to jail, and we need to prepare for the freak out because we know that his supporters are a bunch of freaks, right? And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got to do? Join me in giving Donald Trump and his legion of MAGA demons, the freaks, what they deserve. Another round of, you guessed it, booze and shame. You know, I see there's some dissension in my comment section. A lot of people are getting upset, and they're finding that I've ruined their breakfast this morning. They're triggered this morning. They don't like how I'm running my broadcast. Well, guess what? You must not have heard me at the top of the show, you MAGA demon. Maybe you didn't get the message.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
That's right. I firmly believe if you want to make the United States of America a better place, a greater, really want to make America great again, it does begin with the mass deportation of anybody that's MAGA. If I could be president for a day, you know what I would do, ladies and gentlemen? If I could be president for a day, oh yeah, I definitely would say anybody with a pickup truck that has Trump paraphernalia splattered all over it, anybody that goes around with Trump paraphernalia in their front yards, hangs it all over their house and wears it, lock them up. Don't even give them a trial. Just send they special behind straight to Russia. You Trump supporters are so lucky that I'm not president. Oh, because I tell you, I wouldn't even lose any sleep doing it. I'd sleep like a baby knowing. How many of y'all voted for this guy in 2020? How many of you said you voted for him? You said it was a record number of voters. That all of you gotta go. It's a shame we gotta walk this country through this nonsense you've put us through. All right, it's a shame. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Let's talk about the next topic. Congresswoman Maxine Waters warns Trump supporters are already plotting violent attacks if Donald Trump loses in 2024. It's not a question about if he loses, it's going to be when he loses, right? Let's listen to what Maxine is saying, all right?
This is a man who we better be careful about, and I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask the Justice Department, and I'm going to ask the President to tell us what they're going to do to protect this country against violence if he loses.
Exactly.
I want to know about all of those right-wing organizations that he's connected with, who are training up in the hills somewhere and targeting, what communities they're going to attack.
Thank you. Y'all training up in the hills, training to target communities. See, we know what you Trump supporters are doing. You don't think we could see you because you wear those masks? We know where you're at. You put all over the internet where you're at. You Trump supporters aren't that bright. Did you understand this? Donald Trump doesn't send his best and brightest. You know that, right? When he on social media, he's not sending his best and his brightest. He's sending his worst and his dimmest. And all of you Trump supporters, you got to understand this. We don't have to go look for you to get evidence of the crimes. Your special behinds are so silly that you actually post the crimes on your social media platforms. The little platforms you do got, like my friend Snuggles. You go look at his account. All he's doing is posting his crimes. All he's doing is posting the fact that he's a traitor. All right. And when it's all said and done, you know what we're going to do? We're going to roll up. We're going to go. Let's go look at his social media account and anyone like him and see what he was into. Oh, this was a right-wing conspiracy theorist, Alex Jones following deranged Trump supporter. And they're going to go through your DMs. And next thing you know, we got the crime scene. You know how you know this is what's happening? Because look at what's happening to their cult leader, Donald Trump. He does the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I really hate to do it, but you know what? I take great pleasure in doing it. Join me once again in giving Donald Trump and his freaks, his MAGA demons, what they deserve. All right? Because these folks, we know they're training in the hills. Because once Biden beats them again, they're going to lose it. And they think they're going to get away with it, but they're not going to get away with it, all right? And we're going to make sure that they don't. Join me in giving them another round of booze and shame.
Silence.
Yeah.
You MAGA.
Yes. Oh, wait. I see somebody in there that says FJB. Oh, Billy, you said FJB. I just sent you a guest request, Billy. Why don't you come up here and explain why you came to my show? I was in the middle of doing a great piece, a great bit, Billy, until you interrupted me with that lie right there. Billy, why don't you come up here and explain to Zeus, Big Zeus, what got into your coffee this morning? Because do you got that dirt on Joe Biden, Billy? Oh, we got some. Okay, we got somebody. Maybe I'll send somebody else up here. I sent these MAGA demons a quick invite. I'm curious about if you got that dirt on Joe Biden. All right, you see, they're not willing to come up here and defend their position. You know, they get in my chat and then they're saying FJB. I send them an invite. All right, come on up here. Tell us what you got. Yeah, you know what they do? They hit that decline button. You know why? Because they're lying. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give these Trump supporters once again another round of booze and shame because they sit out here on TikTok and lie, and then when you ask them to back it up, they can't. Let's give them another round of boos and shame. Bye, Billy. Billy. Hey, Billy, you see what I'm doing right, Billy? I don't need you to come in the box to give you the booze and shame. Thank you, Rick. I don't need you to come in the box to give you the booze and shame. All right, so it was a courtesy that I actually said you could come up here because either you're going to get it either way, Billy. All right, you're going to get it either way. You can't run. Hey, Billy, maybe you didn't know. They said Zeus is a pretty dangerous person on this app. If I were you, I'd be looking around every corner because you never know which live I'm going to pop up in. Billy, remember this, Billy? I caught you crying last time. Remember this?
To the Christians.
Remember this, Billy?
Do not be deceived.
Oh.
Stop thinking that everybody who waves a flag and shouts freedom is your friend and a good person because we have people like this trying to join up in
Go
the
ahead.
movements.
Yeah, Billy.
I found this out the hard way.
Oh.
I found it out the hard way. That not everybody is in things for the same reasons you are. I was in the People's Convoy.
Hey.
And what a fucking disappointment that ended up being.
Keep it clean.
What a disappointment to find out that these people that you were with, they weren't like you. They didn't care about the country. They were a bunch of grifting motherfucking live streamers that wanted to make money off of the people in America.
Right. See, Billy, she's talking about you. She's talking about the Russian bears. She's talking about Snuggles. And all of those on the right that continue to spread misinformation and disinformation. All right. They're just in it for the money. They don't care about you old ladies. They don't. I've asked them, what are you doing for these women outside of TikTok? Oh, Zeus, I don't do nothing. They don't care about you. Neither does Donald Trump. Let's move it along, all right? Listen, I don't got much time. I got to open up these boxes, all right? Tired of his hot air. Jim Jordan skewered for newest crusade against Trump prosecutor. Jim Jordan faced public mockery when he announced, guess what, another investigation into a prosecutor who has levied criminal charges against former President Donald Trump. Jordan and House Oversight Committee shared on X that Ohio Republicans plan to investigate special counsel Jack Smith's handling of the Florida federal court classified documents case after he admitted to inconsistencies linked to evidence scans. Quote, this acknowledgement presents a grave concern about the department's commitment to impartial justice. Whether special counsel's office misled a federal court, whether the special counsel's office strenuously upheld the highest professional standards of the Department of Justice, this is what Jim Jordan wrote. Accordingly, we write to ask that he steps the Department Office of Professional Responsibility is undertaking to examine these facts and hold accountable attorneys who have violated the standards of professional conduct. Jordan has also sent similar letters throwing suspicion on Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, all right, who accuses Trump of falsifying business records to cover up hush money paid. All right. He's also sent letters to Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis, who's accusing Trump of election racketeering in Georgia. All right. Jordan's new Angry Later debut was met with less than positive review. One person wrote, the only time Jim Jordan, and the key word is Jim with a G, looks the other way is when he is covering up for people who have been accused or found liable for SA. Right? Jim is certainly working hard every day for the person he believes to be his most important client. Trouble is, Jim has lost sight of what his job in D.C. actually is. This is Jim Jordan, ladies and gentlemen, that we're roasting, all right? When one of his investigations puts someone in jail is when I'll start paying attention to Jim Jordan. We are tired of his hot air. Yep. All right, and you see, ladies and gentlemen, this is just another example of what we mean when we say that they have no evidence of any kind of dirt, whether it's Joe Biden, whether it's Letitia James, whether it's Fonnie Willis, or whether it's Alvin Bragg. These people will continue to hide real crime and go and make up crimes against their political rivals simply because they worship Donald Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got to do. Join me once again in giving deranged Jim with the G, Jordan what he deserves. Another round of, you guessed it, booze and shame.
Silence, you MAGA demon!
Silence, you MAGA demons. And again, I understand that there's not a credible Trump supporter out there that's willing to produce any shred of evidence that can actually back up their claims. All right. And this is why we continue to do what we do on this show, ladies and gentlemen. All right, now listen, we got to open up these boxes. Like I said, we're going to try to cruise through these topics as fast as possible because Zeus does have other affairs to tend to. Yes, Zeus 2024. All right, Punka Pie. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, please, thank you all for the likes. Thank you all for the shares, the subscriptions, and the follows. We are on our way. All right. Now let's move it along. You know what this part is, where we cover January 6th, all right? Are you ready to cover January 6th, ladies and gentlemen? You know exactly what we do over here, all right? What we do over here is we tell January 6th based on the facts, right? We tell it based on the facts, all right? And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have another update from one of Donald Trump's so-called soldiers, all right? Now, we're heading into the 2024 election, and I don't know if all of you are reading the tea leaves, all right? I don't know if you're all reading the tea leaves, but Donald Trump is resorting to all of the same tactics that he used in 2016 and in 2020. Cheating and crimes. That's the only way he'll ever win in life. That's the only way he'll ever win, cheating and crime. And so what we'll do is I'll highlight how Donald Trump cheated in 2020 for all of you. All right. Now, you got to understand, when a person is cheating, they have to do that because being honest isn't working. And this is why it's not working. Because when you're honest with yourself about what happened in 2020, you know that we were in the thick of the pandemic. A lot of times, Donald Trump supporters, they like to go, he was doing good up until that certain point when the pandemic came. And then they all of a sudden say, let's just pretend like the pandemic never happened. No, that's not how this works. You don't just, in sports, there's 4 quarters, right? You don't just get to say, let's just drop the fourth quarter and just only focus on the first 3. That's not how the game works. So let's put it all in perspective. He had 4 years, 4 attempts to win. He probably, you could go your path. He did okay in the first, the second, third, right? And that's because of Obama's coattails, we'll say. But then we get to that 4th quarter, and he just failed. He failed miserably. And there's not a Trump supporter out there that can't honestly say he didn't. He lied to the American people about the dangers of the pandemic, which cost Americans their lives, right? The economy was in shambles. I've never seen the stock market take a deep dive the way it was when Donald Trump was in president. I was actually terrified, to be honest with you. I said, how can we recover from this? Started printing money, which we all know led to the inflation we're dealing with today, right? Right. Our national debt shot up through the roof under the sky. He was impeached twice. Well, he was impeached 1 time, all right? He clearly was unfit to be president. And so Donald Trump was brought this information and said, sir, you're not getting reelected unless you win. And he said, well, what can I do to win? And they said, there's pretty much nothing you can legally do to win. But there is something you can do illegally to win. And at that, he perked up. What can I do illegally to win? And this is how it began. He began with this big lie. I'm not a paid Fed, but you are. He began with a big lie. You know what the big lie was?
It's a rigged election. It's the only way we're going to lose.
It's a rigged election. It's the only way we're going to lose, is what he told his supporters. All right, this is in April of 2020. And you know what they said to themselves? That actually makes sense because Donald Trump loves the poorly educated, right? And so what happened on election night, MAGA? We all saw there was no red wave. We saw a blue wall. A blue wall. And Joe Biden became the president-elect. And so what did Donald Trump do? Well, he was supposed to come out and he was supposed to concede to President Biden, right? But instead he did this.
We had such a big night. You just take a look at all of these states that we've won tonight, and then you take a look at the kind of margins that we've won by. And all of a sudden, it's not like we're up 12 votes and we have 60% left. We won states, and all of a sudden, I said, what happened to the election? It's off. And we have all these announcers saying, what happened? And then they said, oh, because you know what happened? They knew they couldn't win. So they said, let's go to court. And did I predict this, Newt? Did I say this? I've been saying this from the day I heard they were going to send out tens of millions of ballots. I said exactly, because either they were going to win, or if they didn't win, they'll take us to court. So Florida was a tremendous victory.
Right. Did he concede right there, ladies and gentlemen?
76,000 votes with almost nothing left. And all of a sudden everything just stopped. This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
Right? Thank you, Ginger. So he convinced his supporters that he actually won the election just like that. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the plan was officially put into motion. So we already got his supporters willing to be his Confederate 2.0 soldiers for him, because he thinks of himself as the modern day Jefferson Davis. A great storm is a brewing, and I am your new president in the Confederacy. Thank you, Nina Cole, for the subscription. And so now that we got the soldiers radicalized and ready to commit a nasty, heinous attack on the United States Capitol, what does Donald Trump decide to do next, ladies and gentlemen? Well, he decides to engage in a fake elector scheme, all right?
I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have.
That's the fake elector scheme, MAGA. Yeah, he was going to take the real electors and replace them with his cult members, the fake electors. As if our votes didn't count. He was stealing our votes from the American people, in other words, right? And so with that being said, now it is time to move forward with the next phase of this assault against our democracy. And how does he do it? Well, I'll tell you how he does it. Attention! All Trump supporters, this is what Donald Trump says. I lost to Joe Biden and I'm very angry. Conservative Democrat, clickbait, and Luke, all of you Trump supporters out there, sell everything that you have, send the proceeds to me, all right? And then I'm going to need you all to meet me in Washington, D.C. at an event that I'm hosting called Stop the Steal. You hear that? Stop the Steal. I'm hosting it. Be there, will be wild. And so you know what these Trump supporters did, ladies and gentlemen? Let me see if I can get it for you. You know what these Trump supporters did? Bear with me as I try to, paint this picture for you as best I can. You know what his Trump supporters did? Well, they took him up on his offer and they decided, you know what? We're gonna give him the money and then we're gonna meet him in Washington, D.C. And you got to ask yourself, well, how did they get to Washington, D.C.? I'll tell you how they got there. They packed in the back of these U-Hauls. Yeah. You know they packed in the back of these U-Hauls, right? You know who was back there? I'll tell you who was back there. You ever heard of the Boogaloo Boys? You ever heard of the Patriot Front? You ever heard of the Oath Keepers? Or maybe you've heard of, the Proud Boys. These are the guys that decided, you know what? Let's put on our khaki pants. And let's put on those masks and let's go to Washington, D.C. for our boss, the boss. And you know what I find fascinating about this is the mask, right? These are the same knuckleheads. You ever went to the grocery store during the pandemic? We all remember what was happening in the grocery store. You walked into the grocery store and they had the mask requirement on, and these MAGA demons would be in the grocery store like this with their mask, right? And you would see all this snot coming out of their nose. You remember that? And you go, hey, excuse me, sir, could you put that mask on? You know, I'm seeing a little snot hanging out, and you might have and you know, we're trying not to all spread. Don't you tell me to put that mask on. See, that mask makes it difficult for me to breathe. Hey, you know, this is how they were willing to crash out about that mask, right? They were like, they were willing to go viral. Don't you dare tell us to put that mask on. I can't breathe. But you know, we caught these MAGA demons in a lie. You had no problem masking up when it was time to be racist and attack the United States Capitol, MAGA. This is why I say you aren't Christians. You're hypocrites. You're not patriots. You're traitors and a bunch of liars. Yes, these knuckleheads converged on the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C., and began to plan their assault on the United States. And when they got to D.C., I don't know if you all remember this, but they received an update from one of the lieutenants. You know who Marjorie Trader Green is? You know who Marjorie is? You know, many of us say she's the one who planted those pipe bombs, right? You know what Marjorie said? This is what she said. Listen up, MAGA.
Everything. If we flood the Capitol building, flood all the government buildings, go inside. These are public buildings. We own them. We own these buildings. Do you understand that? We own the buildings and we pay all the people that work in the building. Finished with our meetings here at the White House this afternoon. We had a great planning session for our January 6th objection. We aren't going to let this election be stolen by Joe Biden and the Democrats. President Trump won by a landslide. Call your House reps, call your senators from your states. We've got to make sure they're on board. We already have a lot of people engaged. Okay, stay tuned.
Right? So that's Marjorie. You know, look at the shoes. You know, that's the pipe bomber. So we all, you know, we don't got any concrete proof. But if you ask a lot of people, and these are very credible people, who do you think planted that nasty pipe bomb around the United States Capitol? A lot of people will say, yeah, it was Marjorie Trader Green. So that's why we do this. All right. So she instructs these MAGA demons to go attack the United States Capitol. So while this plan is in motion, there's a situation that takes place at the White House between Donald Trump and his vice president at the time, Mike Pence. All right. And you all know exactly what happened with Mike Pence. Donald Trump storms into Mike Pence's office and he says, Pence, I got everything in motion. I got everything in motion. I got the fake elector scheme. Can you say scheme? And I got my supporters waiting for me at the ellipse. I just need you to do that one thing we talked about. Don't you dare certify that vote for Joe Biden. Mike Pence grew some spine, and you can read it in the indictment. All right. He grew some spine and he said, Mr. President, I can't do that for you because that would require me to place you above the United States Constitution. A document that our founding fathers fought and bled for. Millions of Americans, soldiers, patriots, they've bled for. There's just no way I could place you above the United States Constitution, Mr. President. To which Donald Trump responded, and he got in Mike Pence's face. He called him the P word, you know, the same P word on that Access Hollywood tape. He got into his face and he says, you know what your problem is, Pence? You're a little too honest. I'll take care of it myself. He goes to his security. Security! Take me to the Capitol to be around my soldiers. All right? And security, the Secret Service. Mr. President, they're armed. They got bear spray. They got demon spray. They got military tactical gear. We don't think it's safe for you to be there, Mr. President. And you know what Donald Trump said? He says, I don't care. Take me to be with my soldiers. They're not bringing that gear and those weapons to harm me. And with that, you know what Secret Service did? They drove him to the United States Capitol, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what happened at the United States Capitol? He got there and he saw a sea of red, white, and blue patriots for Donald Trump, right? These are the MAGA demons there. He saw this sea of Trump supporters and he couldn't help but say, you know what? You know what? You know what that means? It's time. It's time to go ahead and get my troops to converge on the United States Capitol and engage in these heinous acts of, you guessed it, violence. And so we all remember what happened that day, ladies and gentlemen. I'll remind you, this is what Donald Trump did. We all remember what he told his supporters.
Now it is up to Congress to confront this egregious assault on our democracy. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol. And we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them. Because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
Right? MAGA doesn't like it when I tell this story about January 6th because it's so truthful that it actually hurts them when I do it. And that's why I do it the way that I do it. So that's Donald Trump encouraging his supporters to engage in heinous acts of violence. You want to know what else was said that day, ladies and gentlemen? You want to know what else was said that day? All right. Oh, okay. Let's see. Here we go. You had you had Rudy Giuliani there that day, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what Rudy Giuliani was saying? In case you don't remember it, this is what he was saying. Let's see what Rudy Giuliani was saying. He was also...
And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Remember that? Yeah, fight like hell.
So, let's have trial by combat.
Yeah. Let's have trial by combat.
And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
You know who heard him say that? You remember Ashley Babbitt, ladies and gentlemen? How many of you remember who Ashley Babbitt? You remember who she was? Well, Ashley Babbitt heard Donald Trump say that. And we fight.
We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Right. And so let's tap into what Ashley Babbitt. This is Ashley Babbitt right there, ladies and gentlemen. We got Ashley Babbitt right after she heard Donald Trump say, "Let's fight like hell." We caught Ashley Babbitt on tape, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to what Ashley Babbitt was saying as she was attacking the United States Capitol.
District, why don't you worry about your own goddamn district and the shit that's going on there? You are a complete, I'm telling you right now, I'm putting all you on notice. Every single one of you politicians in California, Gavin Newsom, Jerry Brown, Maxine Waters, Duncan Hunter, what the hell is Kamala? Where is Kamala? Talking about ISIS like KKK. We got this Margaret Cameron. You know what? We have thousands of people on the other side of the border. Your people can't get to work. Our economy is going to take an absolute tank because you guys refuse to choose America over your stupid political party. Capitol and a mob, there's an estimated over 3 million people here today. So despite what the media tells you, boots on the ground definitely say something different. There is a sea of nothing but red, white, and blue, patriots and Trump.
You heard that? She says there's a sea of nothing but red, white, and blue patriots for Donald Trump. So you know what that means, MAGA? That takes away the little claim that it was Antifa, BLM, and the FBI and the little Ghostbusters. She confirmed that it was all MAGA. Yeah. And you want to know what happened to Ashley Babbitt at the Capitol? You all remember it? Well, guess what? I'm going to help you remember what happened to Ashley Babbitt. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the moment Ashley Babbitt was unalived. She lost her life at the United States Capitol. Do you all know why Ashley Babbitt lost her life? Do you all understand how she lost it? I'm going to tell you. She lost her life because of Donald Trump. She lost her life because she, like all of you red hat wearing Trumpies, believed the big lie that the 2020 election was rigged. She put it all on the line for Donald Trump and engaged in a domestic terrorist conspiracy against the United States government, and she lost her life fighting as a soldier for Donald Trump. And you want to know what Donald Trump did after his soldier lost her life in the battlefield? Listen up.
Information that stands out to me is that Donald Trump was passed a note after one of the rioters was shot in the Capitol and was made clear that this person had been shot, this woman had been shot in the chest. And the valet says that he offered no reaction upon learning that. He kept sitting in the chair watching the violence unfurl on TV.
A non-reaction at the death of Ashley Babbitt.
A non-reaction. Good morning, Ange. He didn't care that Ashley Babbitt lost her life because of his big lie. Do you Trump supporters understand that you're being played like a fiddle yet? She was with a sea of red, white, and blue patriots for Donald Trump, who all believed the same big lie that the 2020 election was rigged. And guess who ended up losing their life? Ashley Babbitt. This is on Donald Trump's hands. No matter how many of you try to spin it and make it look like she's the victim of all this little conspiracy theory stuff that you've been reading up on. No, if she would have been obeying the law, and if she wouldn't have believed Donald Trump's lie, none of that would have happened. And you know it. You have to live with that, MAGA. You do. Did you really think that the rest of this country was going to allow you supporters of Donald Trump to ignore the will of us and install him into the White House? Did you really think that was going to happen? Newsflash, MAGA. You're not the best and the brightest out there. You're just a bunch of... I can't even say it because it's TikTok, all right? And speaking of that, now that we have this crime scene of January 6th, it is now time to talk about what happened to another one of Donald Trump's foot soldiers that day. One of these traitors. Yeah. Not a credible witness, son of a prominent conservative, among the first two to invade the Senate floor on January 6th, deserves 12 years, feds say. Prosecutors told a federal judge that the son of a prominent conservative activist convicted of bashing open a Senate window, joining rioters who chased a police officer before making his way to the Speaker of the House office, and finally perching himself in a gallery where he turned the view of C-SPAN camera away from his fellow rioters on January 6th, deserves 12 hard years in prison. I firmly believe this too. If it was up to me, I'd give them life sentences, each one of you. Leo Brent Bozell IV of Pennsylvania, the son of Brent Bozell, the conservative founder of the Media Research Center, all right, and the parents of Television Counsel and Law Crime previously reported. Bozell IV, who is 44 years old, was convicted at a bench trial last September in Washington, D.C. on 10 counts, including 5 felonies like obstructing an official proceeding, and aiding and abetting destruction of government property, and aiding and abetting civil disorder, and assaulting, resisting, or impeding officers. They don't back the blue. They attack the blue. And that's why I get so irritated. You see Donald Trump, there's a clip of him high-fiving police officers. They're sitting on their bikes. You Trump supporters, you traitors don't get it. He doesn't care about them. They're just props in his little scam that he's running on you. He was also convicted on several misdemeanors, including entering and remaining in a restricted building or ground. The stark 12-year proposed sentence is the result of a terrorism enhancement prosecutors seek for Bozo. A government sentencing memorandum from Friday explained. Bozell's attorney, William Shipley, wrote in a proposed sentencing memorandum that his client, quote, made a bad error in judgment on January 6th, but did not arrive with ill intent. How many of you believe that those who showed up for Donald Trump on January 6th, they just made a little boo-boo? How many of you think it was just a little boo-boo out there? Those who were there. Is there anyone out there that believes the people who assaulted the United States Capitol on January 6th, they just made a little boo-boo? Oops, sorry, I just tripped, fell, stumbled, and woke up in the Capitol. I don't know how I got here. I don't know why I'm throwing feces on the wall. I don't know why I'm carrying this Confederate flag through the rotunda. I don't know why I'm beating up the police officers. How many of you believe that? Because I don't. I may have been born at night, but I wasn't born last night like you. Senior U.S. District Judge John Bates, an appointee of former President George W. Bush, disagreed when he convicted Bozell. They should call him Bozo. How about that? We'll just call him Bozo. When he convicted Bozo last fall, telling him directly that he found many of his explanations for his conduct utterly unbelievable. Quote, I find that Mr. Bozo is not a credible witness on several fronts. Many of his explanations of his conduct before January 6th, they defy both the video evidence and common sense. Bates said when rendering his verdict, court records show. Bates did not buy the Pennsylvania man's claims that text messages discussing, quote, taking the Capitol were just silly little conversations. You silly little rabbit. They're just silly little conversations with friends or family, nor did he believe Bozo was trying to, quote, help the police. Bozo, you think we're a bozo too, huh? You think the judge is a bozo. So you call beating up on the police helping them out. Wow. Yeah, and these are the people Donald Trump calls hostages, ladies and gentlemen. They're not hostages. These are traitors, and they're amongst us. Now, I'm not going to go any further because I got to open up these boxes. So let's just get straight down to business. We've heard this story over and over again, right? How these Trump supporters innocently ended up in Washington, D.C., beating up cops. You know, I'm beating up a police officer. I don't know why my hands are doing that. I'm sending Donald Trump my money. I don't know why my bank account is doing that. No accountability for your conduct. Spraying them with bear spray and pepper spray. Oh, I don't know why the can sprayed the officers. I don't know why I got this Trump gear on. I don't know why I left the evidence all over my social media. Help me, Judge. I'm having a crisis. I'm having a meltdown. It was an accident. Well, you take your little special behind in a jail cell and think about it, okay? And you come back to us when you get back to reality. I don't know what you're taking, but you need to stop taking it. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving Bozo what he deserves. Another round of, you guessed it, boos and shame.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
Right? Silence, you MAGA demon. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, you know what that means. Let's send Bozo off the old-fashioned way. You know, Bozo wanted to be a soldier, all right? Well, he's getting this classic soldier treatment. Goodbye, Bozo.
I'd like to begin by addressing the heinous attack on the United States Capitol. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. I immediately deployed the National Guard and federal law enforcement to secure the building and expel the intruders. America is and must always be a nation of law and order. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
You hear that, MAGA? You hear that? You hear that? Donald Trump doesn't care about you. You do not represent this country, and you will pay. So let's rewind January 6th, ladies and gentlemen, and make it real simple for these MAGA demons. Donald Trump lied to you and told you the election was rigged. You believed him, and you were so upset that you decided to break the law for him. And you've all been caught in 4K or 8K, however you want to say it, because of your own foolishness. All the evidence that they used to convict you, you've posted it on your own social media accounts. And all of your conspiracy theories about who was there and how it was peaceful, it's all make-believe. It's not true. That's why you're sitting in prison. Some of you are still sitting in prison. Some have gotten out. That's why this is why the DOJ's, they got this thing called the sedition hunters. It was sedition conspiracy. It was seditious conspiracy. It was an attempted coup. It was an insurrection. It was not a peaceful protest. And people lost their lives, including Ashley Babbitt and members of law enforcement, because of Donald Trump's big lie. And you know it. You know, it never ceases to amaze me, ladies and gentlemen, that these Trump supporters still to this day, they sit out here and they worship Donald J. Trump, who we all know is the biggest ringleader, biggest clown on social media. All right. And you know he's a clown because he does exactly what a clown does, right? Every day a clown puts on makeup. What does Donald Trump do? He puts on the same orange makeup. Ooh, I look so good, don't I, Melania? No, you don't, but he thinks he does. Clown puts on a wig. Donald Trump puts that same bird's nest on his head. You've seen it, right? Clown puts on that little crumpled jumpsuit. Donald Trump puts on his little crumpled suit right there with the diaper and the red tie. And he gets onto his social media platform and spews lies to all of his supporters day in and day out. And like some, I don't know what to describe you. You all believe him. Even to this day, you all still think the truth is on his social media platform and it's a lie everywhere else. You all ought to be embarrassed at this point. Anybody that wears a red hat today, anyone that wears a red hat to me they're definitely a racist, but they're worse than being a racist. These are some racist traitors. And when I see that red hat, it definitely gives me cause for concern. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my morning monologue. All right. Now let's open up these boxes and let's hear from those of you who are, brave enough to get in the box and to tell the truth. This is going to be a bit of an abbreviated show because, there's so much going on right now and Zeus has other affairs to tend to. But, I'm going to open up the boxes. And again, if you got dirt on Joe Biden, I would love to have a conversation with you. And I would like to have a serious conversation with you because what I don't want to do is, be irresponsible with the platform, right? And to me, being irresponsible with the platform would mean ignoring the fact that President Biden is a criminal, a hardened criminal at that. So to all of you Trump supporters out there, hello, Kibby. To all of you Trump supporters out there that believe President Joe Biden is a criminal, please bring that dirt to all of us. We would love to see the evidence. All right. Now let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. Let's open up those boxes and hear from those of you who are brave enough to get in the box and to tell the truth. How are you doing? Ruby Red.
How are you doing, Zeus? You know I love you, right?
Oh, all right. I love you too. I love you too.
I love you.
All right.
Man, look, if that's what they thought was a peaceful protest,
right?
I'd hate to see what a violent one is.
Well, they say there's another one that's coming. What do you think about that?
Oh, well, see, it's like what'd you say the people, the red hats were just then? I'm gonna tell you what they really are.
What they are?
Those are the devil's. They're the devil's little demons.
You think so?
I know so.
Talk to
Look,
us.
it literally says that God's children, God's people is going to be able to see people for who they really are.
Right.
The demons and who the Antichrist really is.
Right.
I've been seeing it for decades.
Yeah.
Literally.
Right.
And it's like, why can't nobody else see this?
Well, do you think?
I mean,
do you think that they can't see it, or do you think
they are blind? Their faith is gone, and I mean, I have actually seen Christians, people that were hardcore Christians that believed totally in God, turn their back on him.
Yeah,
turn their back on him.
Wow.
And it's like, and that blinded them right there.
Right.
When they turned their back on God, he turned his back on them, pretty much.
Yeah. So you don't.
They don't know. They don't.
You're saying you don't buy the fact that they're Christians.
No, I don't. I honestly don't. How can they follow a man like that and call themselves a Christian? Seriously.
Yeah.
When he literally, how can these women call themselves a Christian and follow him when he literally said, "Pick your woman up like a six-pack"? Come on now. That's gross.
That is gross, but a lot of these women, they think he's attractive. They find him attractive, and they're saying,
oh my God,
that you can look past all of his flaws because of all of the millions of dollars that he has.
That's what they find attractive. It ain't him; it's the money. Because even his own wife does not find him attractive.
Yeah.
It literally makes her sick in her stomach to even think about being close to him.
Ain't that something?
I know, she can't even look at him without looking mean.
Ain't that something? How do you think Melania is going to process all of this information that's coming out in the trial? I mean, especially now that Stormy Daniels is testifying.
She's probably very happy.
You think
she's
so?
Probably very. I think she's happy because she can't stand him either. All right, baby.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, she can't stand him either. I mean, I literally detest the man.
Wow.
But I have for decades. But I mean, even before he was political. So.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, she's also, as far as I'm concerned, complicit in a way, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I mean, she faked her role pretty well, but I mean, just like when it came to being his wife, she didn't fake that role very well.
Ain't that something?
She faked her role as the first lady pretty good, but when it comes to being his wife, she couldn't even hold his hand. Come on now.
Yeah. Do you blame her though, right? She knows what's up.
I don't blame her.
Yeah, she knows what's up. Now, what part of the country are you in? If you don't, I don't remember where you're.
Man, I'm in Podunk, backwoods, Mississippi.
Wow! Shout out to Mississippi. Listen, it's always interesting, when folks in states that I know are, obviously red states, still, are paying attention enough to know. Somehow Donald Trump is a bad person. There's a lot of people out there, I would imagine, that support Donald Trump, right?
Right. Oh no, not the bell.
Yes. There's a lot of people out there that I know support Trump, but you stay strong out there, all right, Ruby Red?
I will stay strong, but just remember one thing.
What's that?
He's paying all those melanated people that are supporting him. He's literally paying them off. Yeah.
Do you think he's paying them a lot of money, or how much do you think it costs? $10?
I don't think they're $10. No, but he'd probably pay a couple thousand just to stand there and look goofy. Just to stand there and look goofy.
Are there any blacks for Trump out there? Any Latins for Trump out there? I would love to see them. Right? Let's see if we can get
none that I know of.
Okay.
None that I know of. I'm with a I'm married to a melanated man myself, and. Yeah. He detests Trump himself. He says every time he sees something, funny about Trump on his phone, he's like, "Look at this, look at this." I'm like,
"Wow."
I'm like, "Okay." And when you come on, I let him watch you, and he says, "I like him."
Oh yes, thank you. Listen, that's awesome. That is so awesome. Well, listen, thank you so much for the unwavering support, Ruby Red. All right, and I look forward to hearing from you again. All right, I really do appreciate it.
All right, baby.
All right,
you take care. Have a blessed day.
All right. You two, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to Ruby Red.
Okay.
you see, ladies and gentlemen, this is a show of force. There's a lot of people out there that feel the same way that we feel about Donald Trump. All right, let's move it along, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Bamba. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. You are doing great too, Mr. Handsome.
Well, thank you so much, so much. All right,
Yeah.
I do appreciate it.
Yeah, you're keeping me informed.
Yeah,
I
I
had
try
to
my
take a
best.
break. Yeah. So I I just wanted to say to Mega, you know, Trump can't call his friend Orban
Mm,
in Hungary anymore. He's in deep doo doo.
really? What happened?
Well, he got caught covering for an orphanage director that was essaying the orphans.
Oh.
And now everybody's protesting against him in the
Mm.
streets by the thousands. And
Wow.
there's an election coming.
Diva. Thank you,
And the
Diva.
people in his district that really loved him are even protesting against him.
Mm.
So Orban's going to be a lame duck if he even gets to stick around. I think he's going to
Mm.
get kicked out of the EU and NATO. So
Mm.
that was like his book, you know. That's who he would
Wow.
call and ask
Yeah.
how do I do this? And
Yeah.
yeah, the books are going down.
Wow.
And
Wow.
yeah, and then Putin has his priests doing like seances trying to raise Stalin's spirit.
Wow.
Yeah, so I guess they're going to come up and say, this is the reincarnated Stalin, which
Mm.
anybody reads the Bible knows how that goes, right?
Mm. Yeah.
The Antichrist has to be raised from the dead, doesn't he?
Yeah, it sure does, Bamba.
Yeah, so I think, yeah. So Republicans, you got to find some new people to buddy up with. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I just think that's hilarious that they're all supporting Putin and now Putin's kind of gone rogue,
Yeah.
and then Orban's like is a sinking ship.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, this is what happens when you hit your wagon to corrupt people like that,
Yeah.
right? I mean, this is
Yeah.
indicative of what happens all across the world, especially right now with Donald Trump. You hit your wagon to authoritarian leaders like that, it's going to sink.
And he gave Kim Jong Il, he gave him a world stage, and now
Mm.
look what's happening. If he had just left him alone. And then the other thing I was going to say, I forgot. Oh, I forgot already.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
Thank you,
it's like
Donna.
too much on my mind.
Well, I
But anyway,
understand,
you keep
ma'am.
it going. Yeah. Trump's. Here's what this is it. You know how Marjorie Taylor Greene put up the pictures of Hunter's banana?
Oh, I remember that.
Do you
I
think
tried not to look.
I think they would be appropriate for the court, wouldn't
Yeah.
you? Don't you think the jurors would want to see that mushroom?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
No. Listen, some things are just better off described, and that's one of them. I would
Yeah.
hate, but you know what? I mean, I wouldn't want to see that. Would you?
No.
Oh.
No. But I think it's all's fair,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
think they should do it just to all's fair in court, right?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
never know. You never know. But that will be that would be an image they would never be able to get out of their mind the rest of their
I
life.
know, yes.
That's probably the one time they definitely should just say absolutely not. You said they would need a magnifying lens.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking all's fair,
Yeah.
Show's banana. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great day, everybody.
All righty then. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to the beautiful
Bye.
Bam. No lies protected. Yeah. I mean, listen, all is fair in love and war, Bam, but I get it. But there's just some things in life I would definitely say are better off left alone. Now, listen, Nick, I see you out there. Nick, go get your real account, Nick. All right, because you don't have enough followers to talk to Zeus. All right, go get your main account and bring whatever your grievance is to Zeus. All right, I would love to have that conversation. All right. There was a gentleman out there asking, how do you send a guest request? Listen, you got to hit the multi-guest when you want to talk to Zeus, all right? And if you got the dirt on Joe Biden, again, this is really where I'm at right now. If you do got the dirt on Joe Biden, please, ladies and gentlemen, send Zeus a guest request. I will let you speak for the full 3 minutes if you can show us the evidence that Joe Biden is a criminal. All right? But if you can't produce any evidence that Joe Biden is a criminal, you know what I'm going to need you to do? Sip it. All right, and just sit your special behinds down and listen to this special broadcast. All right, make America great again. Get rid of Biden. Oh, Chuck, why don't you come up here, Chuck, and tell us why we need to get rid of Biden? Chuck, I sent you an invite. All right, you just can't come into my live and then say these things, all right, and then not be prepared to actually be, talked to, all right? So, Chuck, would you like to come up in here and explain why we need to get rid of Biden? And why do you say Biden, Chuck? You know what, ladies and gentlemen, again, we got another Trump supporter who clearly is terrified to get in the box and defend their position. All right, so guess what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen? Join me in giving them, you guessed it, another round of booze and shame. Bye, Chuck.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
X, greetings. How are you doing? Greetings, X. How are you doing? This is our first time doing business, correct?
Yes, it is. Yes to all, no to all of your questions. But go ahead.
Okay, so the first question, do you think the 2020 election was rigged?
No, I do not.
Oh, okay. Next question, who was responsible for the attack on the Capitol on January 6th?
Donald Trump.
Do you believe that there's evidence of Joe Biden being a criminal?
Not at all.
Okay, let's go. All right, what do you got for us? You wanted to get in the box and say something, please.
Yeah, I listen to your show every day. I applaud you for what you do. This is a great platform, great show. I'm a creator here on TikTok as well, and I was thinking this morning, the MAGA supporters and the MAGA Christians, they are doing exactly what they're supposed to do.
Talk about it.
And when I say that, the young lady that just left, she was speaking from a spiritual standpoint. I was thinking these Christian MAGA, when it comes to the point where they're going to start persecuting the Christians, where do they think they fall in that? Like, are they going to be set aside? They're going to come after the Christians as well.
When you say they, who are they when you say they're going to be persecuted?
Well, let's just say the evil, the dark side, the dark forces, because, they're going to want everybody to pledge allegiance to them. Yeah. And if these so-called Christians, these MAGA Christians, don't do so, I mean, do they think that they're void of being persecuted as well?
Doc, thank you for the subscription. That's an excellent question. MAGA, any Trump supporters out there that believe in the Bible and things like that? Thank you, Doc. Do you think you've been exonerated and you won't be persecuted?
Yeah,
I'm looking.
Because it's just crazy. I live in New York. I live in New York City. I'm in the Bronx right now.
All right, but, shout out.
I'm familiar with this fool Donald Trump and all of his shenanigans just from watching him here in the city. So to watch people be so, I don't know, and I don't get these blacks for Trumps especially. And every time I see a Latin name attached to somebody's name, I think you had a Christopher Rodriguez on yesterday.
Yeah.
I do not understand what these people, particularly people of color, what they expect to gain out of this, as supporting this man.
Yeah. What do these people expect? There was a lady, I can't say her name right, but she got on the stage at one of Donald Trump's rallies and started criticizing Joe Biden. Then she gets onto Fox News and says, "Oh, I was just criticizing him. I voted for him, but I was just criticizing him on Donald Trump's at his rally in order to try to get some sort of attention for her vegan business." You saw this?
Yeah.
What would you say that's the that's an okay way to go about bringing awareness to whatever the issue is to align with Donald Trump like that as a person of color?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, I personally, as a person of color, I don't know how you could possibly support a man that led the charge for January 6th. I mean, that alone, he tried to destroy the country and the process. And I don't understand how people are able to just look beyond that, or as it, like that's, if you want to talk about the highest form of sin, that is it. And I'm not some crazy Christian, but the fact that he did that, I don't know how we even move on. Like, his name should never be mentioned again. But for some reason, we're able to look past it. We're able to look past when he was walking down the street, shooting tear gas and then held up the Bible. I don't know how we look past this crazy stuff. But yeah.
I mean, I don't look past it. I don't think you and a lot of us do. But I believe you're saying you don't understand how the Trump supporters are able to sweep this under the rug.
Yeah. I do not understand it. I don't understand it. And then I don't understand what place they think they're going to have in his kingdom, right? Like, what do you think you're going to get out of this? Because he doesn't care about you. And he's demonstrated that time and time again. You play that message every time where he goes, the people that did this to our country and blah, 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 blah. And he was the one that initiated and led the charge. And then, so aren't you listening to that as a supporter and saying, wait a minute, you called me to DC. Now you're telling me I did the most heinous, I don't get it.
Yep. And this is why I continue to repeat it. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should drop the January 6th bit. I think that to myself. But then it dawned on me, this is the only way that it's going to sink in with a lot of these folks. Because you do it once, they can say, "Oh, I didn't know." But if you do it repetitively, eventually it starts to sink in their subconscious that yes, Donald Trump set them up.
Yeah,
and that's what's going on, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, listen.
All right, my brother. I appreciate you. I really do, and thanks for bringing me up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give Brother X a round of applause. No lies detected. Yeah.
You might have to turn me off. I don't know how to do that.
Don't worry. I got you. All right, I got you. All right. Let's bring up our next panelist. Oh, Bama. This is a magazine.
Zeus. I got some breaking news for you.
What? What is it?
Your friend Jack Smith is going down, tampering with the classified documents. That's a damn shame. That is a shame.
So
and just to try to get Trump. That's bad when y'all mess with
Butter, listen up. This is your new account. I don't want you to lose this one like you lost your last one.
You know why I lost my last one?
Because you were spreading lies and misinformation and hatred.
I lost my last one because your friends turned me in because they said I was lying.
Well, you were.
All I say, get your knee pads ready and get Snuggles his steak dinner because you're going to have to pay him his steak dinner.
And Butterbean, again, that's a lie.
No,
I don't know. I don't. How old are you, Butterbean? I'm curious. I've never seen someone as old. You sound like you're older than me.
I'm 53.
Okay, but how do you explain your level of intelligence at 53? How do you explain it being so low?
Dude, what about your intelligence?
No. This isn't about me. This is about you, Butterbean. Remember? I mean, seriously, did you go to school?
Yes.
Where?
In Alabama.
What subject did you major in? What was your discipline?
Science, math.
Got it. Okay, and so okay, you don't want to be a little more specific? Like you got your master's degree in math, or what was it? I mean, the reason I'm asking this, and I hate to put people on the spot, but when people come around me and they brand themselves as, one of these, upper echelon, highly educated individuals, I got to start to probe and ask questions because I want to make sure that I'm studying under the right person. So please bear with me. And so what I'm noticing is we have a lack of critical thinking skills going on. Have you ever known any time in American history? Oh, Well, ladies and gentlemen, Butterbean didn't last. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving Butterbean what he deserves. He tried. He thought he was going to one-up Zeus today, but I guess it didn't work out in his favor. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Butterbean what he deserves. A round of boos and shame. Butterbean.
Silence! You NACA demon!
Listen, I was trying to have a respectful conversation with you, Butterbean. You didn't have to drop out of the box like that. Listen, we get it. Donald Trump loves the poorly educated, all right? But I just wanted to make sure you and I came to that conclusion together, all right? Let's move and bring up our next panelist, all right? Who do we got here? New Jack Reloaded. Greetings. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
All right. This is our first time doing business, correct?
Yeah, let's go through your round of questions.
All right, first question. Do you believe the 2020 election was rigged as Donald Trump says it was?
No.
All right, good go. Nice guy. You got any proof of that? Send me a guest request. I would love to unpack that with you. Next question. Who would you say is responsible for the attack on the United States Capitol on January 6th?
The people who did it.
Who would you say is at the top of that food chain?
The people that were inside of there.
That answer
that participated in it.
No, but New Jack, can we get straight to the point?
Sure.
Who was the one organizing this?
The people who ran up in there and did it.
You know what, New Jack? I'm gonna go ahead and give you boo and shame because you got that one wrong.
Okay.
You got that one wrong, bro. You got that one wrong. Yeah, same thing make you laugh will make you cry. Same thing will make you laugh will make you cry. Last question. Do you believe Joe Biden is guilty of any crimes?
Yeah, absolutely not.
Okay. You got that one wrong, too. Jesus Christ.
Silence! You NACA demon!
Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah, same thing. Make you laugh or make. Do you have
I got
any
a
dirt?
question for you.
No,
I got a question for you.
Well, listen. This is really the crux of my show as of late.
Sure.
I am actively and aggressively looking for dirt on Joe Biden. Do you have it on you?
Do I have dirt on Joe Biden?
Do you have the proof of the?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I've got some crummy Dillons. Okay.
Show us. Do you have it on you?
Let me explain it to you. You should, if you're paying attention to Joe Biden, then you know what I'm saying to be true. Okay. So 1989 through 94, they were crafting up what they called the crime bill, right? Joe Biden got up in the House of Representatives and explicitly stated that anybody caught with cocaine the size of a quarter should immediately be given 5 years prison. So, no questions asked.
New Jack. Yeah. We don't got much time, bro.
Okay,
what's the dirt? Right. What's the actual crime here?
This is the dirt. Hunter Biden just got on for the world to see with an ounce of crack cocaine and hookers, and he is not in prison. Do you think Joe Biden has anything to do with them not being subject to the crime bill?
Okay, so I'm going to ask you how I got to explain to you how evidence works. No. Listen. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. When I am, I'm being very insistent on this issue because this is serious, right? Don't you think we Americans deserve to know that if a person we're voting for is a criminal, we should know that, correct?
Well, I'd like to know why Hunter Biden isn't in jail for 5 years.
but New Jack, it's funny
you
to
didn't
you.
answer my question. I answered yours.
I promise you, I will answer your question.
Okay, I'm waiting for your answer.
But
I'm not going to answer another one of your questions.
But I'm going to need you to at least stick to the format of the show. All right, and this is why I'm trying to get you to understand. What you've done is you've given me a narrative, but a narrative cannot be. Listen. A narrative that's not tangible. That's
I'm listening. Go ahead.
I get it.
To laugh at you though.
Yeah,
it's hard
I get
not
it.
to laugh at you. Go ahead.
I get it, but
and
it's hard to
you don't hear
really.
me laughing. I'm gonna mute so you don't hear me.
Okay, great. Thank you. Mute yourself. All right. So a narrative is abstract. I can't do anything with that. I can't go give that to a jury and say, look at this. This is a guy. This individual is a criminal. I'm looking for audio recordings. I'm looking for pictures. I'm looking for witness testimony. All right. Phone records. I'm
Video
looking
of
for
his
things.
son with an ounce of crack isn't evidence enough. That's not evidence enough. Video of Hunter Biden with an ounce of crack isn't evidence enough.
New Jack, I asked about President Biden. Are you here?
Are
you listening?
I'm that
Do you understand English?
Any crime?
Wait.
Any crime?
New Jack. I'm asking about President Biden.
I'm telling you about President Biden.
No, you're talking about Hunter. I'm asking you a very specific question. There's people in this chat right now that are looking for.
If the 94 crime bill and many men and women got locked up for the exact same thing that he said, why isn't his son locked up? Why isn't his son locked up? If that is the law, it is the law.
New Jack, you should go mute and keep laughing.
New question.
No, because it's clear to me.
Are you guys Democratic Christians?
It's clear to me, New Jack, that you don't understand English.
No, it's clear that you're deflecting.
No, you won't even admit you have no evidence. You're giving me a narrative.
Evidence. He finagles the law to keep his son out of jail.
Okay, how about this, New Jack?
In Delaware of all places.
New Jack, how about this, New Jack?
Yeah.
I'll let the audience decide, all right? I'll let the audience decide. I'm going to mute your mic for a second. Does anyone in the audience believe New Jack has provided us with sufficient evidence that President Biden is a criminal? If you believe he has not, put a 1 in the chat. If you believe this guy, New Jack, if you believe he has not, put a 1. If you believe he has, put a 2. Which one is it? All right, let's see. Look at all these ones, New Jack. New Jack, do you see this?
Well, it's okay because they all agree with you. That's
No.
okay. When you're in a house full of shills like when you're in a house full of people that agree, that's not a flex. Like literally. Okay, if we're talking about being fair and balanced, right?
Yeah.
Next. Okay, are you Christian?
No, I don't subscribe to the Christian ideology.
Do you subscribe to any religion?
No, I'm not a religious person. Next,
Okay,
so
you're not a
so
religious
now before because your time's up. You see how I'm able to give you direct answers.
You gave up nothing but deflection.
Now, unfortunately, you, New Jack, I can't move forward with you.
Children should be able to change their sex?
No, I believe New Jack has ran out of time, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I gave this guy an abundant amount of time to at least show us a screenshot of whatever it is he's saying that President Biden is guilty of. He failed, and he failed miserably, just like the previous guest, Butterbean. Instead, he sold me a bad narrative that we've all heard over and over about Hunter Biden. I'm not asking about Hunter Biden. I'm asking about President Joe Biden. And you have no dirt on him, and you find it funny to be on TikTok laughing and saying that there is dirt on Joe Biden when there's none. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving fake New Jack what he deserves. A round of boos and shame.
Silence! You MAGA demon!
You don't got no checks to say this and that. You don't got no bank records to back up none of this stuff. It's just, this is how you feel. Oh, what did you say attacking Stormy? Just said, Stormy Daniels just said Trump and Melania do not sleep in the same room. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah. See, these people are, they're getting very, very upset today, and as they should be, and they want to report Zeus. That's fine. We'll do what we'll continue to do what we've been doing. All right. And then we'll wrap things up. Good morning, Tiffany, for the people. How are you doing? Looking so good. Oh my God. How are you doing this bright and early?
I'm just enjoying my lunch.
Okay. Oh, okay,
hi, everybody.
Nice.
It's good to see you, Zeus. Juicy.
Good to see you as well. All right, and happy on the break.
Yeah. What was that guy's name that was just here?
New Jack the fake.
Okay. New Jack, take some notes because I went to your profile, okay, and it's giving incel. Okay.
Oh, he's one of those.
He's one of those. So why are you really mad, New Jack? Is he mad that he's not Zeus? Is he mad that he's not spicy, and sexy over here like we are in the kingdom?
Ooh. So you're saying he's insecure?
Yeah, he's one of those insidious incels. You know, and what was with that? And what was with that laugh? It was giving sinister. It was giving check into rehab.
Yeah,
or check into a psych ward.
yeah. It's definitely on the psychotic side, if that's a way to say it right. He's definitely unhinged. He's not, you know, when Donald Trump talks about his best and his brightest, he's not in that profile. You know, he's not in that.
Right. Why was he bringing? Why did they bring up Hunter Biden? It is literally insanity. Is he who was it that said in the comments? Is he running for Congress or office? Is he president?
Last I checked, no.
I'm sorry if it's windy. Is my audio is too loud?
Yes.
It's okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Where did Boss Diva go? Yes.
So, what have you been discussing? I'm sorry, I try to sneakily listen.
Well, today we're having an interesting day, right? Donald Trump, his boo thing, Stormy Daniels. You know, she's in the courtroom testifying and spilling the beans, and you know this is devastating, right?
Right. Listen. Oh, he just said I'm not into white women, babe. You don't have to be. No.
He acts like he has a choice.
Right. Doesn't have a choice.
You're not that good. You know, knock it off.
Yeah. He was talking about simps on one of his videos, and this is the thing that these incels need to realize, guys. Women have not been dating you already, so all the movements that women are actively a part of and just decentering men nowadays because of many factors.
Yeah.
You've been an incel, babe. You've been an incel. This doesn't affect you, okay? Women don't date you, period.
They don't. Tell them, Tiffany.
You know, it's sad. You know, these days women are picking bears over men.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen this. Have you seen this narrative?
I have. It's it's definitely quite the thing, right? And it makes sense when you think about these Trump supporters out here. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And across the board, because we know MAGA doesn't discriminate. Across the board, women, we're not into the MAGA demons. We're not. It's not giving what it should give, which is brain, knowledge, intelligence, critical thinking.
Tell them.
It's not sexy. You guys gotta do better.
Tell them, Tiffany. Tell them. You know, these people, they're struggling, you know, in that department, and they always, to me, it's misplaced aggression, right? They want to blame women for their inability, you know, to get out here and actually, you know, get it on.
Right. They need to do better.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me, and I have to kind of keep it a little bit more PG because I'm on a playground.
Okay. Yeah. Keep it clean over there, all right?
Go ahead.
It was nice checking in with you, all right?
You too. I think next time you need to give New Jack the car engine because it was that's what it was.
Tell him. All right.
Love you guys. Have a good day.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to Tiffany for the people. All right. Let's move it along. All right. Good morning, Shay. How are we doing this bright and early? Oh my goodness.
Good. How's everyone in the kingdom doing?
Oh, we're doing all right.
Good. Just on my way to work, that lazy liberal with a job.
Hey, listen, you got to do what you got to do to keep the lights on. We understand. Right.
Exactly. Got to keep people happy, get their wine to them,
There you go.
All that stuff, So, did you see, there was this whole fuss about Trump not being able to attend Barron's graduation on May 17th. You remember all that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. He was he's such a mean judge. And then Eric and Don were, oh my God, he's so horrible to our father. How can he do that to our daddy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So finally, Judge Marchand, what he said to him is like, I'm not going to rule on that right now, right?
Yeah.
So then last week he ruled on it and said, of course you get to attend your son's graduation. Looks like the trial is kind of getting close to wrapping up. I mean, we already got Stormy on the stand today, day 11. We got Stormy. So it's moving at fast rates, which Trump is complaining about. But guess what?
What's that?
There's a fundraiser in Minnesota on Friday, May 17th, and guess who's the guest speaker?
Mason. Who? Donald Trump?
Donald Trump.
Wow.
It's all over Twitter. He's not even going to his son's graduation. He's going to a fundraising charity dinner in Minnesota, which is nowhere near Mar-a-Lago.
Wow.
To a state he has no chance of winning, first of all.
Wow.
So, Minnesota's not going to vote for Trump. Everybody knows this. It's blue is blue. He lost Minnesota by over 200,000 votes, right?
Yeah.
So he's not even attending all this fuss. He's not even going. And if he is going and it's early in the morning, nobody really knows the schedule. That's besides the point if he even goes for a minute.
Yeah.
And then gets on a plane to go to a fundraising dinner that's not going to help him win an election.
Yeah.
But here's the point. Those of us that have had children graduating, right, as many of us have, you kind of need that whole day. And then you kind of have a party or something for them that day.
Wow.
Or, celebrate them that day of the graduation. He's not even doing any of that. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. And they were just crying and crying and crying about it. And it's like, he's not even going to it, guys. He doesn't care about his son. He's desperately trying to win this election and keep his butt out of prison. That's what matters to him, right?
So you're saying the only way he can avoid prison is becoming president? You don't think that he has a solid defense to any of this?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Especially in the Georgia trial. I mean, that's mandatory 5 years. And he's on a phone. It's loud and clear. He wants 11,780 votes. Find me those. Find me those. It wasn't about go investigate. Oh, are you sure? There's a little bit of that. It's like, come on, guys. It's only 11,000 votes. Come on.
Yeah.
Everybody knows with a brain in their head, he was pressuring them to go ahead and find him votes. One more than Biden got. So he admits that Biden won Georgia.
Yep.
I get so tired of it. Ange had man bags on, whatever he's called, and man bags. Yeah,
I've never heard of him.
Oh yeah, he's a joy. He's a simp for Trump.
Oh wow.
I mean, he's a nice guy. He's not, he's not dumb like Butterbean, but he's definitely a simp, and he can't figure things out. And so I showed him a video of the E. Jean Carroll deposition, and everybody's like, oh, there's no way why did he lose that? The dress wasn't even made, and she said she liked it and he was sexy and all this stuff. It's like, have you seen his deposition? So I played his deposition, and he's still just like, well, he admits that she liked what he did to her.
Wow.
He says this in his deposition.
Wow.
But she said she found it sexy. She liked when I essayed her. And the attorney asked him again, are you saying that E. Jean Carroll enjoyed what you sexually assaulting her? And he said, well, that's what she said.
Wow. This is disgusting.
The jury's watching this deposition going, wow. Okay. Done.
Yeah.
Like, give me a break, guys. You guys go off of so much small little clips that you don't ever get the full story. You don't ever try to do it. William Yoder, no, he doesn't have a chance in hell to win. Sadly, there's more people that are going to vote for him than should, but he's losing so much support. Did you see, what's his face, the Secretary of State of Georgia is now voting for him? Voting for Biden?
Yeah, because he said it's very important to put country over politics. Right?
Sure
that
did.
Was the thing that I think stood out. And I said, you know what? We need more Americans. It doesn't matter what your politics are at this point. We need more Americans to do the same thing. Put your country over your politics. This is no laughing matter. It's because in a way it was a lieutenant governor, right? In a way, a lot of us that are engaging in these kind of political conversations on a daily basis, if it would have just been two people that loved America campaigning, I don't think we would have had to go this far on our platforms, right?
No.
But because
the fact that yeah.
No, please
Like
continue.
you said, like you talk about Zeus, the fact he's even in contention after January 6th blows my mind.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind. It tells you these people don't actually care about our election system. They don't actually care about the Constitution. They don't actually care about our country. All they care about is me, my team, I want to win. That's it. My money, my team, win. Football team. I got my helmet and my shoulder pads and I'm ready to go,
Yep.
That's what they think this is a sport. They don't care. They don't truly care.
Yep. Tell them,
It's
Shay.
crazy to me.
Tell them.
But anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you, that old Trumpy poo doesn't give a flying F about little old Barron.
Tell them.
Because, we all know what he was doing when Barron was born. So he wasn't there holding him, feeding him, diapering him, helping his wife heal from giving birth. He was out there having schmexy schmecks with Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Such a great family guy. Such a great family
Christian,
values.
God-fearing, right?
Outstanding man. Boy, is he. All right. Love you guys in the kingdom. I'm going to head in the door.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up to the beautiful Shay. No lies detected.
By the way, the Ari Melber thing, that was so cool, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Everybody knows he was on Ari Melber, right? That he was featured as one of the many political TikTokers. That's our guy right there, Zuzi Lucy. We love you. You're doing a great job. That was so awesome.
All right. Well, you never know. All right, I try my best. You never know what can happen with these TikTok out here in these TikTok streets.
I know, and we had Rosie O'Donnell. No Z-Pack is making it in the news, hanging out with Michael Cohen. And they're just so upset. It cracks me up.
As they should. I see you, Z-Pac. I see you, brother. All right. Well, listen, Shay. Once again, thank you for all you do and all of the support.
Absolutely.
I really do appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to the beautiful Shay. All right. Oh my goodness. Now listen up. Attacking. I am keeping up with the notes in Stormy Daniels. It says Trump shakes his head as Daniels recalls asking him about his wife. Stormy Daniels shrugs as she mentions that she had a very brief conversation with Donald Trump about his wife, Melania. She says that she asked Trump about Melania and told him she was very beautiful, and she recalls Trump saying, quote, "We don't sleep in the same room." Trump closed his eyes, shook his head, and murmured to his attorneys as the defense table as she said this. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Donald Trump what he deserves. Another round of boos and shame. This is serious. Yeah. She said she called a friend from Trump's hotel after this. Ooh wee. Wow. Yes. See, the dirty, disgusting, filthy deeds that Donald Trump has done, ladies and gentlemen, are all percolating to the top. I could imagine right after this testimony, I could just see his phone is going to blow up with messages from his wife, Melania. What, Donald? You didn't tell me that part. So you're just going to tell this woman, this home wrecker, that you and we don't sleep in the same bedroom? You can't make this stuff up, MAGA. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I got to get up out of here, all right? It was a pleasure checking in with all of you. I'm so sorry I didn't get to talk to all of you. It doesn't mean that I love you any less, but I did say I got to keep it short this morning, all right? And on that note, let's wrap things up. The plane has officially landed, all right? But before we get out of here, you know what we got to do? You all deserve a round of applause. Thank you. I see you, Dark IT lady. I'm sorry, Z-Pac, right, and everyone else. I usually try to, stay a little longer, but I do got to run. But to the subscribers. I think we got a couple of new ones. To the gifters, to the moderators, and to all of the panelists who came up here and who had the courage to tell the truth and to shame the devil. You deserve this. A round of applause. Yes, the truth will keep flowing no matter where I'm going, all right? Seriously. All right? And one last round of booze and shame. This goes out to the Zeus haters out there. These are the people that like to block Zeus when I go into their lives. They just see the name Zeus and they hit the block button. I don't care. These are the people, these are our critics. These are our detractors. These are people who spread misinformation and disinformation on behalf of Vladimir Putin and the Kremlin. These people spread lies, all right? Evil, hatred, bigotry, racism, traitorous conduct, and they do it on behalf of Donald J. Trump. These are some of the worst, the lowest of the lows. Let's give these folks what they deserve. Our last round of booze and shame. Especially you, Bama. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Bama. Alright, and on that note, ladies and gentlemen, take care. Stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do.
Who's oldest? Most handsome in the kingdom.
Alright, Homer. We made it another show, ladies and gentlemen. IT lady, I see you.
This is how I move when I'm walking like Zeus. This is how I sound when I'm talking like Zeus.
Cold as a day. Rick, IT lady, Jackie, I see ya. Thank you. Swerving, I know you're out here, brother. Joe Torres, I see you. All right, Jackie. Let's go. Hey, Queen.
I'm flyer than an eagle and got bread on me too.
Fire paragraph, you know what time it is. Rick, I see you. All right, brother. Thank you so much. Tiffany for the people. Ray. Let's go. Bounce. I see a bounce. Hey, Jeffrey. Let's go. Hey. Yeah, grab your goose. Hey, little mama, let me play with your caboose. Hey. I know the ladies love me because I'm Lady Rima, I see ya.
Player hating on the gods, but he's such a douche.
Alrighty then, let's go, Reggie, with the cowboy hat. You know we gotta get back to business, ladies and gentlemen. Do not let up. All you content creators out there, keep up the great work. I can't do what you do, to be honest. Hey, don't bring up that Kendrick Lamar and Drake stuff. Alright, that's a long conversation. It's gonna be a long conversation either way. Jonathan, alright, you two, Lady Rima, Rio, Mystica. Alright, Slick and Sick. Garvey, Rick, let's go. I've been waiting for this moment now. I gotta choose. If you play around with love, then you're guaranteed to lose. Dennis, thank you for the follow. Tone. Valerie, I see ya. Hey, Valerie. Yeah, grab your goose. 912, let's go. Rick, I see you. Slick as Rick, let's go. Michelle B. I tried to be patient. I see you, Mystica. Alright, another heavy day in the courtroom, ladies and gentlemen. You know what we gotta do. Take care. Dark IT lady. Take care, brother Swervin'. I see you. This is how I stare when I'm Grateful Marley, let's go. When I'm moving like Zeus. Lady Rima. Thunder in the sky, light you up like Zeus. Tiffany for the people, have a good one. Alright, you know
I
it.
just want to find 11,780.
Hector, I see you.
This is one more than we have.
And that'll get you a RICO case, you know that. Woo! Cold as the day. Thank you, April, I see you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hit them with the Jack Smith remix.
He's deranged. Jack Smith. He's deranged.
Thank you, Valerie.
He's deranged.
Hey.
Jack Smith.
He's deranged.
Jack Smith. He's deranged. Jack Smith. He's deranged. Jack Smith.
He's deranged.
Jack Smith.
Donald Trump is indicted and they take one charge and they turned it into 36 charges.
What?
And he's a big Trump hater. Openly, he's a Trump hater. And his wife is even more of a Trump hater.
Right. All right, let's get up out of here.
They started just recently with this crap. This
is my favorite one now.
They brought this lawsuit, Brenna, 3 years ago, right after I left. It's been 3 years. But they didn't do that. And now they're saying, we have to go immediately before the Supreme Court. This thing would have all been over with 2 years ago. But they waited and waited and waited, and then they saw I was running, and they waited, and then they saw I was hot, and they filed lawsuits. These are very dishonest people. That's called election interference. And now they're fighting like hell because they want to try and get a guilty plea from the Supreme Court of the United States, which I can't imagine because you have presidential immunity. But strange things happen. But they want to get that because that's the only way they're going to win the election. It's a very sick thing. But think of it. They waited and waited and waited for years. In fact, nobody thought, everyone was saying they're never going to bring any charges. Most people said they're not going to bring them because they don't have anything. And then all of a sudden we started getting hit with these lawsuits. And now they're saying...
Wow, see, that's spiraling. I've never heard him talk so fast. You know you're guilty when you start talking that fast, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's wrap things up. You know what we got to do? Let's drop the bomb, all right? And then we're out of here.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
That's right. You ain't black. You ain't nothing but a modern day slave. I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Take care and stay safe. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do out there in those TikTok